Tonight on CTV News, 20,000 fleeing the flames.
20 years of building everything we've built to watch it go up in flames in 5 minutes.
Devastating destruction of homes. The massive fire near Summerland has claimed the life of a woman. When will residents be out of danger?
We're now coming up on hour 72. We've been here ever since, rotating shifts, cooking hot meals for people.
Outpouring of support for stranded evacuees. What's being done to help the thousands fearing their homes are gone and the displaced animals?
I am still in shock. I have waves of just wanting to break down and just cry.
Community on edge. A bear mauls a 3-year-old girl in her Maple Ridge backyard. The search for the aggressive bear still on the loose.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. As thousands remain displaced by the wildfire burning near Summerland, many are now learning what they've lost. Some families have seen their generational homes reduced to ash, while others are still waiting to find out if anything remains. CTV's Kevin Chirac joins us now from Penticton. Kevin, what are you hearing from the evacuees?
Mi-Jung, the evacuees have had their lives turned upside down by this fire. We've heard stories of survival, devastating loss, and remarkable resilience. Security video captured Friday night shows a raging fire near a home in Fulder. Blair Dufty and his wife lived there for more than 2 decades, and now there's nothing left.
Moments where I'm okay, and next moment, you're not okay. All right. And I have a feeling that'll be going on for a lot of us for a long time.
Their home is one of many destroyed as entire stretches of the rural community have been transformed into a scorched earth wasteland.
I have no insurance, and I know lots of people out there are in the same boat. It's scary.
We got married there 2 years ago.
Kiara and Sasha Sopo's family ranch also destroyed. They had only minutes to escape.
There was no time to really grab anything. We got 4 horses out, and the rest we had to open the gates. We lost everything. We lost our dogs. We couldn't get our dogs out in time.
Amid heartbreak, a miracle. Their cattle, horses, and donkey somehow survived.
They're all safe. They literally were standing in our grass field and just hanging out.
They're now working on getting them to safety.
Pictures of Grandma, or like our wedding.
Doug Lowney packed only the essentials and the irreplaceable.
So I made that for my son because he wasn't fitting in. And I told him that sometimes you don't fit, but it'd still be, even though you don't fit, because it's a square peg in a round hole. And so it's still a beautiful.
His family escaping the fire as it moved towards town. He has no idea if his home is still there.
You're just in a holding pattern until what do we do next? And just approach it as this is another adventure.
Evacuees hopeful the community will come through this together.
However it turns out, I think it'll make the community stronger in the end.
Just wish everybody the best, send out our loves, and hopefully we can all get through this together.
And since being here, the devastation and emotions are apparent, but it's also clear that none of the evacuees will be going through this hardship alone. Mi-Jung.
Thank you, Kevin. An active police investigation is underway into the cause of the Bald Range fire, which continues to grow and defy prediction. Firefighters are working to contain the blaze. At the same time, restoration efforts are underway. CTV's Penny Daflos has more on the logistics and the many agencies working on the fire.
By night, the flames devour more trees, land, and homes. And by day, hundreds of fire professionals fight back as they try to bring the Bald Range fire under control.
It looked like it was going to come right over the mountain any second.
Anxiety is high as evacuees play the waiting game.
It's quite alarming. We're not getting too much information.
We anticipate the arrival of 100 international firefighting personnel from Mexico in the coming days.
Welcome help because when the smoke is heavy, it blocks the sun from fueling the flames, but can also keep aerial firefighters grounded.
It's definitely a juggle with having, a lot of smoke in the area that does hinder visibility for aircraft. That said, the smoke is helpful in the sense of lowering temperatures.
Our full focus is saving lives and supporting rescue efforts.
Despite those efforts, an 80-year-old woman died while fleeing the fast-moving flames over the weekend. CTV News has learned that although the Premier declared a province-wide state of emergency on Saturday, none of the provisions have been used yet.
Canadian Armed Forces are on standby, are in direct, constant contact with our Government Operations Centre, our emergency preparedness folks, the BC government, their officials.
Utility crews have been working in the fire zone all day with early indications some areas in Western Summerland are charred to the ground.
We could have put 1,000 more helicopters, 1,000 more people on the ground, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
The forest minister was on the defensive, insisting the Bald Range fire was simply too ferocious to control from the very start.
We had 19 helicopters on that fire, and there was nothing we could do to stop the intensity of a rank 5 and 6 fire.
We will treat every fire as suspicious until proven otherwise.
Mounties have already interviewed one man who'd posted social media videos involving fire, but they say the wildfire
was already well established. We do not believe the bear bangers to have been a cause of any fire.
Investigators are welcoming any video, pictures, or witness reports that could help in their work.
It can take sometimes weeks or months to drill down on anything. In this particular case, there's still an active fire.
With lightning now in the forecast for that region. Penny Dafloss, CTV News, Vancouver.
And Ann Lou is here. The flames are scary enough, but you can see in the video just how thick the smoke is.
Yeah, the smoke is blanketing the region, limited visibility, and it is advised to stay indoors. Here's a look at the air quality health index right now. As you can see, for the southern interior, it's at high or extreme. Kamloops and Castlegar are at 10 plus, so a very high in regards to health risk. So yes, do stay indoors and avoid outdoor activity. So in orange, Penticton, Summerland is included in that orange air quality warning for the next 24 to 48 hours. In the surrounding areas is the yellow air quality warning that is in place. But again, we are expecting some active weather throughout the next couple of days. So a chance of afternoon thunder showers for that region, which is definitely not what the firefighters are looking forward to.
The rain is a good thing, but we don't want more
lightning.
All right, thanks, Ann. Still ahead, the latest on the search for an aggressive bear that attacked a little girl in her own backyard in Maple Ridge. And we'll have an update from BC Children's on the toddler's condition in just a few moments. BC's Conservative leader has traveled to the Okanagan for a first-hand look at the impact of the Bald Range wildfire. In an exclusive roadside interview with CTV News, Carrie Lynn Findlay called for a more proactive wildfire response.
People are hurting. At least one life has been lost. We know there could be more animals, livestock. I mean, it's more than just people. It's property, it's homes, it's memories that people are losing. And we really, really need this to be taken seriously, proactively when it's not the middle of a hot summer.
She argues poor forest management helped set the stage for this devastating wildfire season. When evacuees descended on Penticton, volunteers wasted no time in offering help. People are opening up their homes, their wallets, and spending long hours to make sure people are being taken care of. The generosity is an uplifting boost in the middle of so much uncertainty. CTV's Chris Wiggins reports.
As the Bald Range wildfire forces thousands from their homes, Penticton has become a place of refuge. And outside the evacuation center, community members have been working around the clock to help.
We just see the need, and it's something we can do, so we're going to do it, and we're going to do it for as long as we can, and as long as there's a need for it.
For 72 hours and counting, volunteers from Junior Chamber International Penticton have been cooking meals, handing out hygiene products, and providing supplies for evacuees and their animals.
This is huge, yeah, and they're so friendly. It's just really nice here.
But the help doesn't stop at the evacuation center. Penticton resident Kelly Farley and her family have opened up their property, offering people a place to stay.
28, and then we have a family of 4, so there's 32 people up here right now.
And she's making sure they're not just getting a place to sleep.
Yeah, I've been hosting breakfast and then dinners as I can with the supplies that we're getting.
It's one thing to have to leave your home at a moment's notice, but it's another to worry about where pets are going to go. And for those with horses, Chris Danderand is making sure they've got a place to land as well.
So we're providing a safe place for horses, basically to be rescued and brought out this way. We've got lots of water. I've got a water truck on site too, so it makes the field management a little bit easier.
He has nearly 500 acres of land, and he's told evacuees they can bring their horses any time of day, as many as they need.
I'm ready and willing to go 24/7. I have people call me at 3 a.m, and I'll get my jeans on and I'll get out and meet you. I'll help you load your horse. I'll do whatever it takes, because that's what makes a strong community.
So far, 48 horses are now on his property. In the middle of so much loss and so much uncertainty, the people of Penticton are showing evacuees they don't have to face it alone.
The whole community, everybody, helping everybody. This is great.
Chris Wiggins, CTV News.
The province is introducing a new measure in hopes of preventing more human-caused wildfires.
We advised British Columbians today that we are putting a temporary ban in place for recreational off-roading within a number of fire centres, the Kamloops Fire Centre, the Southeast Fire Centre, as well as parts of the Caribou Fire Centre and the Coastal Fire Centre.
The temporary ban took effect at noon today and carries fines of up to $1,150. Off-road vehicles include ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-side vehicles, which officials say can spark accidental fires in hot, dry conditions. An investigation is underway after an overnight fire at a downtown convenience store. 30 firefighters responded to the blaze at the 7-Eleven on Granville at Drake just before 4 a.m. Officials say the fire started at the back of the building before moving into the structure, but was quickly contained. No injuries have been reported. For people living in areas where the forest meets suburban communities, this next story is the stuff of nightmares. A 3-year-old is recovering in hospital tonight after being mauled by a bear at her Maple Ridge home. Her father shot the bear with his bow and arrow, a move that may have saved the girl's life. CTV's Ben Milger reports.
As an air ambulance takes off from a school field, RCMP officers armed with long guns set out to search for an aggressive wounded bear, still loose in a residential neighborhood. The bear had just attacked 3-year-old Anaya as she played on her family's back patio, pinning her face down just before noon on Sunday.
Suddenly, she just started screaming, like I've never heard her scream before.
As her father tried to chase the bear away, her mother grabbed the child, who was bleeding from wounds on her back, head, and neck. According to the family, the aggressive bear would not leave the yard. That's when the father took decisive action, shooting the bear with an arrow.
He had no other choice but to grab his compound bow. He did shoot the bear in the head, and the bear at that point ran off.
A short time later, police shot and killed a different bear in the neighborhood. A conservation officer praised the actions of the little girl's father.
He was acting as a dad, right? I think any parent put in that situation, your adrenaline goes up and you just kind of act, right?
Anaya underwent surgery Sunday evening, and her injuries are not considered life-altering.
I am still in shock. I have waves of just wanting to break down and just cry. But we've been staying strong for her. She's a brave little warrior. I cannot believe how tough she is.
Anaya will spend at least one more day under observation here at BC Children's Hospital. In the meantime, conservation officers continue to search for the wounded bear, which they say will be destroyed if it's found alive. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
Vancouver police are asking the public to help identify a suspect after an attack on a senior in Kitsilano. Officers were called to the area of West Broadway and McDonald on July 31st. Investigators say the suspect was yelling at passersby when the victim, a 73-year-old man, asked him to stop. A verbal altercation followed, and the suspect allegedly pushed the victim to the ground, leaving him with head injuries. A 50-year-old man has been charged in connection with 4 unprovoked stranger assaults in downtown Vancouver. Police say Mark Ledoux entered a business at Homer and Dunsmuir Saturday afternoon demanded money, and then threw an object, injuring 2 employees. Moments later, investigators believe Ledoux punched a person walking on Beatty Street when they refused to give him money. 10 minutes later, another victim was allegedly punched in the face near the corner of Cambie and West Cordova. Police believe there may be more victims and are asking anyone affected to come forward. Some good news for the province on the fiscal front. The final accounting for the budget year ending in March shows a deficit of $7.7 billion, which is more than $3 billion lower than forecast.
This last year was an unusual one. We faced wild changes that created both challenges and opportunities.
The latest financial update shows the deficit is lower than expected thanks to higher revenues and lower spending on capital projects. Earlier this year, the government said it would be repacing several projects as part of a larger plan to trim back the deficit. The update also shows revenues at $2.8 billion higher than previously budgeted, mainly due to the legal settlement with tobacco companies. A 9-year-old boy is fighting to recover in BC Children's Hospital after nearly drowning in the Shuswap River. Also ahead, the perils of ocean pollution. A humpback whale calf is entangled in fishing line. How long it took fisheries officers to free the whale as it swam close to its mother. When CTV News at 6 continues, stay with us. New video captures federal fisheries officers helping disentangle a humpback whale calf. The rescue happened late last week near the south coast of Vancouver Island. The entangled calf, reported by a local whale watching company, was swimming next to its mother, known as Tempest. The team worked late into the evening, tracking the whales as they swam back and forth between Canadian and U.S. waters until the gear was finally removed. The search continues for a 13-year-old girl who fell off her paddleboard over the weekend at Cultus Lake. Mounties say they believe the girl, who was not wearing a life jacket, suffered some kind of medical emergency. The RCMP underwater recovery team is now helping Chilliwack search and rescue in the response. The public, including boaters, has been asked to avoid the Entrance Bay area. Police say disturbing the heavy silt on the lake bottom can reduce underwater visibility. Across Western Canada, drowning deaths and near drownings are up compared to this time last summer. A Calgary family is spreading awareness about water safety after nearly losing their son while vacationing in BC. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg explains.
9-year-old Angie remains in a medically induced coma 1 week after he nearly drowned in a river while on family vacation in British Columbia.
Seeing your son like that is, I don't have any word to.
Like, we don't wish this on any family that what we're going through.
On August 3rd, the Calgary boy was swimming in the Shuswap River near Enderby when he was swept under the surface and became trapped by a piece of driftwood. According to RCMP, he was underwater between 5 and 10 minutes before he was rescued.
What we went through on that beach that day, it's hard to even describe.
Angie's family says he often swims in Calgary's rivers and was in only waist-deep water in BC, but his mother was calling him back when she saw him get swept under.
Blink of the eyes, he just drowned like very quick.
She called for help and people immediately gathered using swimming goggles and a kayak to pinpoint his location, pull him out and perform life-saving measures. The family is grateful for that group of strangers, which just happened to include a doctor and 2 nurses who had a portable defibrillator.
I'm so thankful to all of them. It's so amazing what they did to my son.
Drowning deaths in British Columbia and Alberta are up significantly compared to this time last year. Experts say less than 1% of drowning deaths happen in swimming pools.
We see the majority of drownings occurring in outdoor unsupervised environments, so that's lakes, ponds, rivers. They have currents that can overtake even the strongest of swimmers.
She adds for every death, there are usually about 5 or 6 cases of near drownings. Angie remains in hospital but shows promising signs.
When he wake up, they ask a question. If he can squeeze my hand, he squeezed my hand. Do you need a hug? I said. So he did like this. He want to speak, but that's true.
His family is hopeful about his recovery and that sharing their story may help protect others.
Even though like our son knows how to swim okay, we took that for granted.
It's a big lesson for everybody.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Breaking news, we will have an update from officials about the massive wildfire burning out of control near Summerland. Also coming up.
The cops are yelling at us to get in our cars. We're like, we don't have cars.
Terrifying gun violence at a dog park. What happened after a suspect shot a police officer in Calgary? That's next. In eastern Spain, firefighters are battling a wildfire that broke out last week in the Valencia region. Authorities say crews combined direct attack and controlled burning overnight. The effort to halt its advance was working through the morning, but there was concern that thunderstorms forecast for the afternoon could bring strong wind gusts. A Calgary police officer is recovering after being shot during a traffic stop just before noon today. Police say the suspect took off on foot, firing at officers and civilians before he was found dead in a river. CTV's Kevin Green has the details.
The sound of gunfire echoed through Edworthy Park Monday as police on the ground and in the air hunted for an armed man. Karen Fries Hernsurik was walking her dog when she saw the Hawks helicopter overhead. Then she saw police.
And two guys screamed at me, run. And I'm going, wait, what? Run. And so I sprinted behind them and somebody shot. I don't think it was them. It was somebody else.
Hernsurik ran behind cars, then trees, eventually letting her dog loose as she tried to find safety.
As soon as someone's shooting down at us, I'm trying to get to the bottom. So I'm going behind tree, behind tree, behind tree.
She says she could hear gunshots as she ran.
We're sitting there, we're like, okay, what do we do? And then all of a sudden we hear, they're firing, they're shooting. And so I'm like, we're not staying here. So we started to go up the hill, up the grassy hill. I let her off so she could get up there, and then someone shot down at us.
It all started just before noon in Spruce Cliff. Police say officers were conducting a traffic stop when someone inside the vehicle opened fire. An officer was hit.
And he was also shooting at our Hawk helicopter. So several rounds fired from this offender at trying to obviously injure and kill people, innocent people, where they had no regard for safety at all.
The suspect ran into Edworthy Park. Hawks tracked him from above as officers pursued him on the ground. A dangerous person alert was issued warning people to stay away and telling nearby residents to remain inside.
We were yelling at civilians, the public, to get away while we ran towards the gunfire. So yes, it was definitely, I would say, out of a movie scene.
A police officer had pulled out right in front of me, in front of the house, came out of the car with AK-47, some large gun, and said, get inside and lock your doors.
I could see it all happening and thought maybe there was a film happening because it literally looked like an action sequence.
Police say the suspect then carjacked a CPKC vehicle and drove through the park until the vehicle became stuck. He was later found dead in the Bow River.
There are operational engagement actions that our members are trained to take in situations like this. And as we said earlier, it was because of those members' efforts and the ability to contain this individual within minutes saved other people's lives.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The latest poll from Liaison Strategies shows the federal Liberals with a 13-point lead over the Conservatives. This is the Liberals' largest lead in the weekly federal tracker from Liaison since March. Among decided and leaning voters, the Liberals have 44% support, followed by the Conservatives at 31%. The NDP round out the top three with 13% support. Liaison surveyed a random sample of just over 1,500 Canadians from July 26th to August 8th. The margin of error for the poll is plus or minus 2.5%, 19 times out of 20. As Canada and the U.S. head back to the bargaining table, a new study is putting a price tag on what the loss of a trade deal could cost both countries. It comes as a new campaign highlights just how closely the two economies are tied. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
As the American capital deals with another sweltering day, trade talks between Canada and the U.S. are heating up. The Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, is coming to Washington in anticipation of more meetings. Canada and the U.S. are in the middle of these trade talks. Meantime, Americans here just want to see the relationship return to normal.
Definitely don't need more tariffs. Anything, get rid of it. And if you want to start off, you can lessen it, but definitely we need to get rid of it.
I think it's horrid
I think it's terrible for our world economy. I think it's bad for Canadian economy. It's bad for American economy.
Others admit they aren't following the movement of every meeting. That's why the Canadian American Business Council launched 2 educational interactive games. One shows Canadians how the U.S. is often the source of everyday grocery items, and the other shows Americans how many states count on Canada as their top customer.
Really highlighting how important and integrated we are has been really valuable.
The CABC also commissioned a study to show the impacts of tariffs and a possible collapse of CUSMA. It shows Canada could see a $271 billion hit to the GDP over the next decade without the trade deal. In the U.S., it would be a $1 trillion loss over 10 years. But keeping it in place could see growth and more jobs.
A successful agreement would also support 137,000 additional U.S. jobs and 98,000 Canadian jobs in 2027 alone.
Burke and industry sources are cautiously optimistic after last week's meetings.
While creating meaningful opportunities.
As trade talks continue, equally complex negotiations are happening over Canada's purchase of new fighter jets and whether or not to buy the American F-35.
The question of an acquisition of that size would normally, obviously, be a point of debate or dialogue between 2 sovereign nations.
While those talks continue, there is a sense of urgency on the trade front. The U.S. has threatened a 50% tariff on a wide swath of Canadian goods if there isn't an agreement within the next 9 days. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Washington.
The federal government is investing more than $30 million to support 24 businesses in BC as they navigate ongoing global trade disruptions.
These investments will help our businesses pivot to succeed through the challenging times and also help in the sectors that are the most disrupted by the global trade disruptions, including manufacturing, forestry and steel and aluminum.
Gregor Robertson, the minister responsible for Pacific Can, made the announcement of Burnaby's clean tech company Quadragen, which is receiving $3.6 million to develop a lower-cost biogas upgrading system. The funding is being delivered through Ottawa's Regional Tariff Response Initiative. Dramatic images of buildings being reduced to rubble when a powerful earthquake hit Colombia. Dozens have been killed. Also coming up, an ancient Roman shipwreck has been found at the bottom of the ocean near Sicily. Why it's being called one of the most important underwater archaeological discoveries. That's ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. It's all grain and no rain at this grain loading dock in Bard Inlet with sunny skies and not a cloud in sight.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
A terrifying scene in Western Colombia where a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck early this morning, sending people fleeing from swaying and crumbling buildings. The quake shook several major cities, including Bogota, Cali, and Medellin. At least 132 people are confirmed dead, but the death toll is expected to rise as rescuers search the rubble of damaged buildings. Divers off the coast of Sicily have discovered a 2,100-year-old Roman shipwreck after receiving a tip from fishers. The vessel was found 46 meters below surface and was carrying hundreds of ancient ceramic jars, often used to transport wine. Measuring about 21 meters long and 6 meters wide, the wreck's being called one of the most important underwater archaeological discoveries of recent years. BC wildfire officials are holding a news conference at this hour with the latest on the growth of the Bald Range fire that has already destroyed homes and property near Summerland. Dimitra Maragos is following this in the Breaking News Center. Dimitra, what have you learned?
Well, this meeting is still happening as we speak right now, but the most updated number we received on this fire is 15,580 hectares. Officials saying this fire moved quickly, growing thousands of hectares within minutes. They're battling this fire from the air and on the ground. 99 firefighters battling this blaze as we speak that is still open flamed and has an active perimeter. The RCMP reminding residents to clear evacuation zones as enforcement is still happening.
In the afternoon of Sunday, August 9th, a male was arrested within the evacuated order area. We are doing continued enforcement. Not long before I came to this meeting today, I learned that another individual who tried to charge the roadblock was given a considerable fine.
BC Wildfires Fire Service says additional firefighters will be coming from Mexico to help in fighting this fire. We're going to continue tracking this as the night goes on. Mijung.
Mitra. And let's check in with Ann Liu now. And as you mentioned earlier, orange alert in those regions. And thankfully, we've got clear skies here, though.
Yes, that is right. Much better here on the south coast. We're seeing mostly sunny skies, seasonal temperatures, a beautiful August day for us. And it is hot, especially across the southern interior. The hot spot across the country is Ashcroft under mostly cloudy skies. This is included in the orange air quality warning as well. 32.3 was the high today. The record set back in 1960 at 38.3 degrees. So we do have orange and yellow air quality warnings in place. In orange, the impacts are more severe and it's expected to last for several days. Arrow Lake, Boundary, Thompson, Okanagan, East and West Columbia, Kootenay and Nicola regions. So it is advised that you stay indoors and avoid outdoor activities. So here's a look at the air quality health index right now. As you can see, it is at high or severe across the southern interior, stretching all the way to the southeast corner of the province with Kamloops and Scholar and southern Okanagan right now at a 10+ health risk. So again, avoid the outdoor activities if possible. The smoke forecast looks like the wildfire smoke will continue to blanket the southern interior. It's not until Wednesday that we start to see the shift in the wind. And so for us along the south coast, we could see those hazy skies once again as we head into midweek. Active weather expected for the southern interior and central interior tomorrow. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Morning showers for Port Hardy, clearing up quite nicely. 19 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud for Campbell River and Comox with a high of 25. Mostly cloudy skies for Tofino at 19. Other than that, lots of sunshine from Port Alberni right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 23 and 26. 24s with mostly sunny skies on the Sunshine Coast. Warmer up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 25. And for us across the lower mainland, 22 degrees near the water, 25 degrees inland. Wednesday hazier with seasonal temperatures warming up to 26 and 27s inland for Thursday and Friday. And then the weekend, a mix of sun and cloud for both those days, 23 degrees. And that's how we'll start off the work week next week as well. Seasonal temperatures under a mix of sun and cloud, but no rain in sight, which is much needed. And we are keeping an eye on the possible chance of thunder showers for the southern interior tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed that things improve out there. Okay, thanks, Ann. Well, thousands of pounds of local produce was given away in Cloverdale this weekend. It even set a world record. What all the veggies had in common.
Look after it, keep it clean, it'll look after you.
Many say appliances built decades ago were built to last, unlike modern ones. We'll tell you how old this air conditioner was, and it's still blowing cold air. That's ahead. Taking a look at today's markets, not much movement on the Canadian dollar, still trading a little under 72 cents U.S. Oil up nearly $4, trading around $82 a barrel. Gold saw a $20 jump. The TSX gained 77 points. The Dow Jones lost 60 points on the day. There is new opposition to a proposed pipeline which would run from Alberta to the BC coast. The Union of BC Indian Chiefs wants the federal and Alberta governments to pause efforts to build the West Coast pipeline, citing concerns about climate change. The Chiefs also say Ottawa did not consult First Nations in good faith regarding the pipeline plan. Chuck Grassley, the oldest U.S. senator, made headlines over the weekend after mourning his 49-year-old Hoover vacuum named Beth. And while not all home appliances are built to stand the test of time, an Ontario woman's air conditioner has been chugging along even longer than Beth. CTV's Pat Foran has a story.
This old air conditioner is being removed from a home in Pickering, even though it's still running. Buttons Heating and Air Conditioning had a contest to find the oldest working air conditioner in Durham region. And this unit, made by a company called Fetters, was still going strong.
Was it still blowing cold air?
It was. I came here last week to do the confirmation. It was working and it was cooling the house very well.
Nigel Charlton says there were more than 100 entries in the contest, which included working air conditioners that were 41, 43, and 44 years old. But this model was the oldest working unit at 52.
Look after it, keep it clean. It'll look after you.
95-year-old Lois Kemp remembers getting the air conditioner in 1974.
I declare open the Olympic Games of 1976.
She had entered a lottery to help support the building of the Olympic Stadium in Montreal and won $1,000. She used some of the winnings to buy the air conditioner.
I was just a teenager when it was installed.
Steve Kemp says he remembers when the family got the air conditioner and says over 52 years he doesn't recall it breaking down, not even once.
It's been there since '74, and like every year we've maintained it, we've cleared it, we've covered it in the winter. We've always cleaned it in the spring, make sure it's running top notch.
Winning the contest means Lois will get a brand new Daikin air conditioner. Charlton says it will be more efficient and save her money.
Yes, it's been running for 52 years, but if anything happened, she wouldn't be able to fix it. But she's got a brand new one that's more efficient. It's going to be quieter and far less taxing on her energy bill.
This past winter, the company had a contest for the oldest working furnace. The winner came in at 69 years old.
I don't recall us ever having any troubles whatsoever. Not one.
With the new air conditioner in place, Lois is optimistic that it will last for many years to come.
Well, I hope so.
Some old and rare video games have surfaced in the States, and they are worth millions. A box of old Nintendo games turned out to contain nearly 100 copies of a previously unknown version of Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. The person who sold the box to a video store claimed Nintendo had sold the cartridges to a metal recovery service to be melted down for gold, but they were never destroyed. Some of the cartridges are in perfect condition. 3 of the cartridges are set to hit the auction block this month and could fetch millions. Step aside, Jimothy. There is a new internet sensation raccoon. This one freed from a giant jar of mayo. Meet her after the break. Also ahead, an utterly unexpected sight in an Ontario neighborhood. The story behind this herd of cattle moving through. Plus, Alex's Rockets. Adam meets a 13-year-old with a plan to help kids learn through liftoff. Next on the Sawatsky Sign Off. Right now, here's a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
One of the year's most anticipated celestial events is lighting up the sky this week. Tuesday on Your Morning Vancouver, we'll tell you how you can best view this year's Perseid meteor shower. And we'll have the latest on BC's wildfire situation, including the fight underway in Summerland. We'll look at how communities are trying to start that long road to recovery from the devastation and how you can help. We'll see you in the morning.
A BC farmer's tradition of giving away free, ugly produce that would otherwise be thrown away has broken a Guinness World Record. Over 30,000 people attended this year's Ugly Potato Day at Cloverdale's Agriplex, helping set a new world record for the largest donation of produce in 24 hours. More than 246,000 and 2,800 kilograms were given away, topping the 2016 record set in Sacramento by more than 2,200 kilograms. The produce was either misshapen, blemished, or too small to sell in stores.
The aim of this event is to show our community that, firstly, local farmers care. We see that you're going through a hard time, so we have over 25 farms that donated to this event. Secondly, is to show the amount of food that we can't eat just because it looks ugly, even though it's still nutritious and delicious.
Now in its 4th year, the event began at Heppel's Farm but moved to the fairgrounds 2 years ago to handle the growing crowds. 25 different farms provided produce. Imagine seeing these guests on your doorbell camera. They were spotted on a residential street in an Ontario town over the weekend. Dozens of cows escaped a broken fence and could be seen running down streets. Community members managed to herd the animals back to their field. Another raccoon has captured the internet's heart, this time from Dallas. This is Mayonnaise, a raccoon who got her name from the giant mayonnaise jar stuck on her head for days. Dallas Animal Services says despite multiple sightings and rescue attempts, she managed to stay out of reach until this morning when 2 officers spotted her in a tree and patiently waited for her to climb down. Aside from dehydration, Mayonnaise is in good condition and will be released back into the wild after a few more days in care.
That must have been so hard for her with that tub of mayonnaise on her head.
Well, I guess she was living off the mayonnaise for a while, but then once it's gone, then
it's gone.
I'm stuck.
I mean, you would find me nose deep in some Nutella. So
you understand.
I understand.
Thankfully, the jars are not big enough for you to stick your head in, right? Okay, there is a new tournament celebrating the weight gain of hibernating mammals. The first ever Fat Marmot Week is set to kick off August 24th. Inspired by Fat Bear Week, this bracket-style tournament will let the public vote on which marmot has gained the most weight for winter. The contest is being run by the Colorado Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory with the goal of raising awareness of the critters.
I'm definitely voting on that. I love fat animals.
So cute. And we have, of course, our Vancouver Island marmots.
Exactly.
Maybe we need to do a contest there, right?
There you go.
Okay, just before we get to the Sawatsky sign-off, Dimitra has a look ahead to your late news.
Mi Jung, tonight we are going to be continuing to track the wildfire situation across the province, keeping a close eye on the Bald Range fire. Officials now saying it's more than twice the size of Summerlin. We will hear later tonight from a wildfire rehabilitation center in Summerlin, completely decimated by this Bald Range fire, how they're coping and how they're moving forward after devastation. This all coming up at 11:30.
Yeah, such a stressful time for so many people.
I can't even imagine.
Okay, thank you, Dimitra. Well, a 13-year-old boy in Victoria has planted a rocket garden. You won't find any arugula in it, but you will find models of delivery vehicles for space. The idea was first planted when he was just 7 years old. Adam explains in tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
This is our normal garden.
His mom's garden, which is filled with flowers.
And then over here, we got the rocket garden.
His garden, Alex Rose points out, which is populated with prototypes.
SJ1, a little crispy.
Before the 13-year-old reveals how his rocket got roasted, his mom Amanda says the seeds of Alex's garden were planted when he taught himself how to code software at 7 and constructed his first AI-powered robot by 9.
He wants to be thinking out of the box and just finds a way to make his ideas happen.
After selling a few of those robots, which was part of the business plan he devised in middle school to build his own tech company, Alex invested the profits into making rockets.
Rocketry is hard. I made the mistake of thinking it would be easy. It's not.
Well, it's certainly not easy to teach kids, because a rocket's explosive propulsion is potentially dangerous.
Launching rockets was not really part of the curriculum, so he just came up with other ways to do it.
Which brings us back to the rocket garden's burnt bloom, which Alex did successfully launch without explosives before an overheated circuit board made it burst into flames.
It's a learning process, and every new one you make is better than the last one.
Undeterred, Alex created a new battery-powered system, built a mini jet-style propulsion engine, and coded an application to operate it all.
Most aerospace companies don't have a chair to launch their rockets, but
then again, most companies are not what Alex has named TORI, an acronym for the Teaching of Rockets Initiative.
most people don't have the money to fly out to Florida and watch the real rockets. So if we could bring smaller model rockets into schools, that would be amazing.
Once he's mastered how to make simple, safe rockets, Alex is planning to produce the components in his shed and share them with teachers across the region so other students can be inspired through learning hands-on.
If you solve a problem and you have the answer to this, why wouldn't you give that to someone else who's in need?
Because along with a big brain, Alex is cultivating an even bigger heart. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Now, how would you feel if you were his teacher? Totally intimidating.
Just skip a grade, get out of my class.
Or you get up here and teach the class.
Exactly.
Right?
That
was not building rockets at 13, so
no, neither.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Cruising out of Vancouver under blue skies and sunshine. Thanks, Megan, for sending this one in. And you can email us your photo at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful shot. Okay, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Dimitra is back tonight at 11:30.